Good afternoon, all. It's 3 o'clock here in Montreal. Let me know where you're watching from. I see a hello from Reed. I know there's somebody watching from Newcastle or close by. Our special guest today, Mr. Nev Clay. I'm going to play a song before we bring him along. I know there's a few people watching here who maybe this is the first time on the stream. So if you don't already have an account, do set one up. It's a free thing to do, and then you can chat with us. I'm sure Nev's going to want to chat with you. He does like a chat. Then you can say hello, you can request something, and just all the things. I'm going to play a song, and then I'm going to bring in Nev. Hello to Barcelona, hello to Vancouver. But this is an oldish, at this point, song of mine. This is called Grace. So calmly in the face of the wreckage that you wrote. The storm upturned, the copper beach, the couches. Still we tell ourselves that nothing ever changed so much. I see it all, the grace you send me out in the cold, oh, to a cold town, as much as you'd ever hold. Is it enough? As infinite as sin, don't ever cast a stone before you. All of us are fickle and done more. At least you're not all the things you're not. Could there be anything that you would rather hear less? I see it all, the grace that you stole. You send me out in the cold, oh, to a cold town, as much as you'd ever hold. You send me out, you send me out in the cold. It's not enough. That's Grace from the last record. Good evening, das Schlautier. Is that Frank? If so, hello. If not, hello also. For anyone who's just tuning in, please do let us know where you're watching from. I'm going to introduce my very special guest now, all the way from Longbenton, just outside of Newcastle. This is the wonderful Nev Clay. Nev, how are you doing? Oh, still muted.
Every time.
We got there in the end. That's the.
How many people have done that?
I think you might be the only one, actually.
Okay,
No.
and I've done it 3
years.
times. And I've done it 3 times now.
I don't know if that's true.
Oh God.
You doing all
Hello.
right?
Yeah, I'm okay, Tim. Yeah, I've told you before, but I've twisted my knee, so I'm in excruciating pain. So, but otherwise, I'm great. You know.
There's something about I'm in excruciating pain. Just said very deadpan. This.
God.
Well, I mean, I think we're all very grateful that, in spite of that, you're with us tonight. I suppose it's a bit easier getting out here to play a gig than getting up on stage somewhere, having to take the bus or whatever down the road. So it's a slightly cushier gig than others. But yeah, I'm really glad that we got to get you on again. I think this is the third time, which is, I feel very honoured. For anybody who watches the streams regularly, there's a Nev Clay song called Green Leaves that I play very frequently, and I play it very frequently at gigs as well. And like Sunday I was playing a gig here in Montreal and I played it, and people always come and ask me about it. It's like, who wrote that song? And because it's you're a wonderful songwriter, and a great songer too, and an inspiration, and your new album is just, I mean, technically it's not out yet, but it can be listened to, which we will get to in good time. But this is the first album in how long?
Well, look, I did a split album with Richard Dawson in 2008 or something. But it was just knocked together. He was moving around quite a lot then, so it was recorded in 4 of his bedrooms, I think, so on a 4-track. And also, I had an Akai reverb unit that I was obsessed with experimenting with, and an octave pedal. So it's a disaster, really. I mean, there's some good songs on it, but I wouldn't bother, you know. So putting that aside, it's like been 23 years since Pear Shaped.
23 years, all right.
Yeah.
So it's about time. I was just a wee nipper.
I know, just still in short pants.
But it's wonderful. You sent me a link to it before it came out, and yeah, it's everything I hoped it will be.
Okay.
What was there was a line that I was going to mention last week in leading up to this about, was it remember when your first hamster died? I think that was just gems, full of absolute gems. But sort of it's the humor. It sort of allows us to kind of go into lots of different places. I think it's very disarming, but then I feel like there's always these kind of like twists and turns listening to the record, and it just kind of it whenever I describe what you do, I feel like it is always, it's funny, it's beautiful, it's sad, it's very smart, it's all of these things. We're constantly sort of like traveling around with it, and it's and the album I think captures that very, very beautifully. I'm going to stop yapping on now. Okay. And I'm gonna ask you if you'd like to play us something, either from the new song or the new album, or from wherever. Yeah,
I will, absolutely. I need to warn people about the album. There is one thrash metal track, isn't there? So I love metal, So, but it's only 34 seconds long, so don't
probably don't even need to skip it.
That's like 6 Napalm Death songs.
Yeah.
It's like the length of 6 Napalm Death songs, fitted together. So look, I thought I'd start. I went to London in 1981, and then I got kicked out of art college. And
can I ask why? Is that can it be spoken about, or is that?
I just brought the cans as a sort of explanatory prop, whatever. And also because I was going to gigs every night, the fall, the birthday parties, so. And then when I came back to Newcastle, I did start busking on Northumberland Street, right? So it's a song about that. And it's a true story that there was a girl who threw her chewing gum in my guitar case. But you know this story already, don't you? Everyone knows this story. But it was still in its wrapper. It was Wrigley's Spearmint, and I've still got the stick of gum in the spare room there. In pride of place, in a weird stalky, Anyway. And also, oh yes, I need to tell you, right? So for the guitarists, right, this tuning is. Imagine Dadgard, right? Mm-hmm. And then imagine you drop Dadgard down a tone, all the way down, so it's on the C's and not on the D's. But then you leave the 4th string on the D, right? So it's C, G, D. Hang on, no, it's not. Yeah, it is.
C, G, C. Oh, C, you leave the D.
D, F, G, C. Okay. So let's.
I'm going to type it out. I'm going to type it in the chat so that.
Yeah. C,
just for my own benefit. C,
F, G,
C, G, D, F, D.
C, G, D, F, G, C.
F, G, C. C, G, D, F, G, C. Okay.
Okay. So, so you can do, because you can get all these really close, which you can never do, could you, with a you know what I mean? So you're picking them, but they're only like an interval apart, aren't they? I mean, they're only a semitone apart. So. It's lush, isn't it? Anyway, here we go. And also, as the song progresses, just watch the rhyming scheme, right? Because unfortunately, I've used Remember and November, which is a crime, it's a songwriter's crime. But I've also tried to use some other things that rhyme with Remember and November, so see if you can spot them all.
Right.
Okay, fine.
Duly noted.
Okay, fine. Though my busking days are over, there's a few things I remember, like the smell of dirty copper on my fingers in November, and the Christmas paper sellers outside of Marks and Spencer's, and the sherry sweet aroma of the bloke with the harmonica, and the jumper you were wearing, and the smile upon your face as you threw your chewing gum into my guitar case. Yeah, I was just a strummer, wearing gloves without the fingers, killing songs by Frank Sinatra and bloody Stevie Wonder, and the favourite of the grannies, the theme tune to EastEnders. I just called to say I love you, though I'm not sure that I still do. You're not the wintry sunshine of my life. I'm going to sort of cut the instrumental bit short there because it's boring, isn't it? There you go. Thank you.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Wonderful.
But it's just the tuning,
Mm-hmm.
It's those lovely little tight triads are lovely, aren't they?
No, I really, because I've heard that song a few times, but I don't think I knew that was the tuning for it, and it all of a sudden you really hear that, you hear those kind of patterns that repeat within the song itself from that. And was that, I imagine that being in that tuning just kind of prompts writing songs like that almost.
Well, it does, yeah. But I in 2005 there was a in the Cumberland Arms. You've been to Cumberland Arms and Biker, haven't you?
I don't think so. I don't, because there's yeah.
You've been.
Well, I'm trying to think. Where did We played a gig with the Burning Hell. Was that the Cumberland Arms?
We played it at Cobalt.
Right.
Maybe. Anyway, Cumberland Arms. There was an old fella there called John Birmingham, and they have a sort of round where people just sit around and do unaccompanied singing. So when he died, they launched the inaugural John Birmingham Unaccompanied Singing Cup.
Right.
And I wrote that song. I wrote the lyrics and the melody without the guitar part.
Right.
Just for that. So I won the competition as well. There's a little cup on the top there. It's, inaugural John Birmingham Unaccompanied Singing Cup. Thank you.
Well, well deserved, I would say. I mean, I haven't heard the other entrants, to be fair, but I mean, that's a banger in my world.
Thank you.
Just want to say thank you to Jackie for the contribution. Just so everybody who's watching knows, the contributions 50% every week goes to the guest artist, which this week is Nev Clay. And if you want to support, there's a link that I just put in the description there, and you can support through PayPal or credit card on there. It'll ask you for a username. Just don't put any spaces in there. That's just something to identify you to me. You don't need to sign up for any accounts or anything like that. But yeah, it's kept this stream going for 4 years. It started as a little pandemic exercise, and yeah, I mean, you would have been on that probably in that first year, like probably in 2020 at some point.
Yeah,
I think.
Sure.
And it's been wonderful for me because I live in Montreal, and I think pretty much every time I've played in Newcastle, I've played with you, and it's always an absolute treat. But it means that I don't have to be in Newcastle to play a show with you, or to just have a little chat.
And you also had Yakadoon on, didn't you?
Yeah,
Claire.
yeah.
And Claire sends our best wishes.
Oh, lovely.
Says, thank you.
Well, please send them back. Send them back. In a good way, though. So your record, I'm gonna put a little link here for that as well into the chat, because technically the album's coming out in August, is that right? Or what's the?
Yeah, I mean, just whenever the vinyl arrives, really. So I put a sort of late July, early August release date. But yeah. But between you and me, the CDs have already arrived. Okay.
All right. So if somebody was, for instance, watching the stream and wanted to get hold of one, would there be if they sent you a message on?
That would certainly be
through Twitter or Facebook or something. What would be the?
Yeah, we'll just have a look at Bandcamp.
On Bandcamp.
Yeah,
Bandcamp.
I mean,
Okay, get on Bandcamp.
So
I'll find the link for that during the next song, and I'll post that as well. But I just posted the link to the YouTube playlist that you made that has the new record on. So if people want to go and listen to the first album in 23 years, then that you should listen to, we've discussed, then you can click on that.
I should say, though, the one in the middle with Richard Dawson, you should listen to that, because Richard's songs are astonishing, That's the one where he did Ornithology. Have you heard Ornithology by Richard Dawson?
Possibly.
Walking home on Chilly Road last night, I came across a dying seagull on the bonnet of a Nissan Primera. Just goes on and oh man, it's amazing.
I fully believe it.
Honestly, I'll send you the links, and there's another song called "The Final Moments of the Universe," which is staggering. So
right. No, I'm a fan of Richard's, and I remember the first time that we met was in 2023. In Newcastle at the Head of Steam, I think it would have been, and you mentioned Richard Dawson to me at the time, and then shortly afterwards I came across him from a different source. So it was like one of those like best of the year lists, and like absolutely loved his record there, and then I was listening. There's a podcast, the Adam Buxton podcast, that I listen to pretty regularly, and at the end of that he gave a little nod to you, and it pleased me no end. But Richard's on the record as well, right? He's on. Is it Cuddy's Cave?
He's on Cuddy's Cave, but he's also on this next one I'm gonna play.
Well, it's almost like I knew that was coming up, and I was doing a seamless segue into the next song.
Seamless. The hours of rehearsal paid off. I'm gonna. You can hardly hear him on this one, but he is on it. He does a harmony on it, but there's only 2 lines in the song, so there's not much room for a maneuver.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah. just to say about this song, at the end of 2017, I was really ill. I had a hematoma, like a big blood clot in my stomach, which blocked off my duodenum. So I was like starving to death. I couldn't keep any fluids down. So I was hallucinating, and I ended up in intensive care, you know. And I had another, my second near-death experience,
right.
which I haven't got time to talk about here. You know. I would if I was sitting at the Clooney. And anyway, when I got out of hospital, I put the guitar into this tuning, and this is the first song I played. You know? So it's called Star and Shadow, and it is, of course, about the Star and Shadow, the volunteer cinema in Byker.
Right.
The old one closed. There's a new one now. So it's about something closing and something coming back, you know. Mm-hmm. But it's also about one of my friends there who died, you know. So when it says something's here that wasn't here before, mm-hmm. that could be a loss. Do you know what I mean? It's not there's something new here. Mm-hmm. There's a new loss. I mean, I don't want to, you know. Let's just get through the song. But I was obsessed with this melody for so long.
Right.
Anyway, let's give it a go. It's this tuning again. There's a new star on the ceiling. There's a new shadow on the floor. There's a new star on the ceiling. There's a new shadow on the floor. Something's here that wasn't here before.
Beautiful. And the description of that idea of a loss of being something they hear that wasn't here before, a presence of an absence is it was it gave me a different perspective on the song. But yeah, absolutely gorgeous. Thank you, Nev. We do get into death on this here stream quite a bit, so it's nothing to shy away from, I suppose.
Good, just as well.
Yeah. So go ahead.
No, oh no, I was just going to say, how many shows have you done? You must have counted them.
A few dozen. Oh, you mean these streams, the live streams themselves?
Yeah.
Well, I keep sort of breaking them up into different seasons, so it doesn't. So it's not just like a we're at like 200 and whatever, but it's 4 years and probably 30 shows a year. So, well, I've definitely done. I mean, we did 100th episode, and that was a year ago or so. So it must be getting on for 200 at this point.
Okay. Brilliant.
It's been a few.
What a journey.
And this is the penultimate one for now. I'm going to do one next week, which will be a sort of goodbye one for a bit.
Okay.
Because I'm moving to Germany the week after that, and I don't know how or when I'm going to be able to get everything set up and ready to get streaming again. I'm in a very lucky situation where I have a cafe downstairs, and my neighbours are all very understanding, and it's the afternoon here in Canada, so it's pretty easy to make a bit of a racket. But I don't know what my situation is going to be once I get over there. So I'd love to keep it going at some point, but we'll see. We'll see how that goes. But it's been a wonderful journey, and
it's been a beautiful thing, yeah.
And I'm glad that you've been able to tune into quite a few, even as coming on as a guest, but to just be there as a presence as well has been a really good thing to know that you've been listening, and very, very appreciated.
There's been some amazing people on. Obviously, Mike first started, Toby, and so.
Yeah, I mean, and I think there's quite a few people who regular watchers of the stream who've discovered a lot of musicians through that, and I imagine it's the first time for some of the folks seeing you play here as well, and as conversely, I suppose some of the people who come in on to watch you be the first time for them hearing me play as well. But yeah, if it continues, I'll certainly have you back as a yearly presence, definitely. And if anybody out there has questions for Nev, or even requests, I mean, we can't promise. We're in this particular tuning realm right now, so we might not want to break out of that. But if there's anything that you want to hear, or just like questions you might have for Nev, the new album's called "So Little Happened for So Long," which is perfect in the context of the record as well. But I mean, for me, like, I'd like to ask you a little bit about that in terms of the songs. I mean, I know for me personally, when it takes me a long time to get around to things. My last record came out in 2019, and I'm slowly working at something new. And for me, those songs that I'm getting ready for this new album, it's a whole load of things that have come over that period. With the record, is it songs that you've been working on over that 23 years, or is it sort of more a more recent snapshot of what you've been working on?
It's the Strummer song was, like I say, from 2005, so that's like 4 years after Pear Shaped.
Yeah.
Leave and Do 2009.
Okay.
So a lot of them I just think, and of course I put a lot of stuff on Bandcamp, and people can just download, and I like that. I really like that. Just download it. You can have it, whatever, So they sort of cover the whole period, more or less. They definitely cover 20 years. But I wouldn't have done it. I mean, I wouldn't have done it unless Chris True, who does Prancy Dog records,
yeah.
He puts on loads of amazing gigs in Newcastle. If he hadn't said just before the lockdown, Nev, I want to put out a 7-inch single. I want to put some vinyl out, and I want you to, I want yours to be the first single I put out. And that's what started the ball rolling about me thinking, oh, well, I might actually do an album. Well, how it started was it was going to be a 2-track 7-inch. And then I said to him, this is as the lockdown progressed. What about a 4-track, like an EP, 4-track EP, And then what about a 6-track 10-inch, like Slates by The Fall? Do you know The Fall?
Yeah. I don't know that particular.
Well, record, it's the best. It's great. The 10 Slates EP. So then it was 6 tracks. And then because I've got a song called 9 Dot Finish, it was going to be 9 tracks. And then it was going to be 2 7-inches. And then it's ended up as a 14-track album. So, there you go. So,
just grew.
But if it wasn't for him, all of this stuff would have just gone on to Bandcamp, like everything else.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And it is a strange one, because now we can, people do primarily listen to things just through streaming services. I certainly do. I mean, I'm in the process of selling most of my records now, because, shipping records to Germany is going to be interesting, to say the least. But But I do find it, although we can just put stuff up online at any point, there's something about sort of releasing an album, the focus that it brings to it, if nothing else.
Yeah,
even
definitely.
if we don't do anything separate from that, if you hadn't done it as a a physical thing as well, like just to have it like as an album, I'm releasing an album, and make that focus around it, it seems does seem to make a difference. But then the whole extra level of actually having the CDs and the LPs, even if people are mostly just going to stream the thing. So
sure, it certainly focuses the mind, you know. But even until the last minute, I mean, it was called something else until 2 months before, it's had 4 different names, maybe 5. So, it's just, it is what it is, but I love it. It's a great thing,
No, it's beautiful. And I'll put the link as well for people watching at home. You can go and listen on YouTube to the whole album there, even though it's not officially out yet. Is there another song you like to play for us?
Yeah, well, look, if I can, because this is I'm gonna do Hedgerow, right, which is in this tuning again, which is lovely. And if I could just do one more little one.
Oh yeah,
is that okay?
I'd love that. Yeah.
I'm not going to take the mickey, obviously, but I think it's right to just do one more little one,
Absolutely, please.
And it's not going to be the thrash metal one. Let's hang on. Let's just make sure this is. The capo always knocks it out, doesn't it? It's that, isn't it? That's lovely. Love it. That's close enough, isn't it? No,
Sounds great. Sounds lovely.
The car dealership has gone from north of the coast road, where once was fancy paintwork, just an empty forecourt, where a spiral of bus tickets slowly waltzes with all the crowd that you find in a hedgerow. Take the narrow tarmac road, stained with diesel, around the back of the big Sainsbury's from the graveyard, just between the darkened showroom and the car park. There it is, it's my favourite hedgerow. Though conspicuous consumption has departed, there's still plenty to eat for the sparrows in there. They go quiet when I stumble past with my shopping, feeling like I've been dragged backwards through a hedgerow. So close, so close.
You know, if you hadn't made a noise, you could have pulled that off as a, you know, an intentional like, oh, little modal shift there.
I don't think so. You know what it was? I got too excited because I'd forgotten about. That's what threw us, right? I love that. Oh, I'm like, oh, I'll do that, and then I was like, oh God, where am I? So you know,
A few little hammer-ons, and before you know it, you're thrown off. No, we are getting the thrash song.
God.
No, that's really, really wonderful. And Stolen from Poets mentioned, Stolen from Poets said I wouldn't have noticed. I teach guitar, and I often kind of make that point that if you just don't like let on that you've made a mistake, then people won't notice. But then whenever I play a show, I always just like make some stupid face or some stupid reference to it and make it completely obvious. So I don't follow my word with it.
Yeah, it was the first person I heard talking about it was Alan Holdsworth. You know Alan Holdsworth, who played with Gong and well, he's played with some amazing. I mean, his own band. He's an astonishing, you know. And he said, if you make a mistake, play it twice.
Yeah,
no one will know.
yeah.
But that's a jazz fusion audience, not a acoustic folk audience. You know, so it's different.
I think there's a bit of crossover there as well, depending. But you know, you've got your little shredder moments going on, and
yeah.
And I think so. I could believe that you'd do a little modulation every now and then. Sab says she thought it was a stylistic choice. So that's two people, and I was questioning. I was like, did he mean that or not? So I think officially you could have got away with it.
Well, I might add it in next time.
Yeah.
We'll recall the album. I'll record another version and we'll repress.
Send it off. I mean, I don't know about you, but for me, like a lot of my favourite things in songs were things that I did accidentally, and just being aware of that, and just being open to it, and keeping your ears open, and sometimes those are the best bits when you kind of do something by accident, and then you kind of capture it and then make it a part of the song. So there you go.
Yeah,
you can watch the video back and you'll be able to work on it. But I wanted to mention something as well, because Stolen from Poet says, I love the everyday nature of Nev's songs, and I think you do capture that stuff wonderfully, and you put Hedgerow on Bandcamp a year or so ago, was it? A couple of years ago, and I remember listening to it, and to me everything clicked at that point. I was like, oh, Nev's a folk musician, but like a modern folk musician, because I feel like you don't necessarily kind of make a point of pushing that idea of what it is that you do. I think whenever somebody has an acoustic guitar, you sort of automatically refer to it as folk. And then in England, there's a whole sort of like more like folky tradition that I feel like, for the most part, sort of references times and experiences that we don't really have now. And I feel like you just really capture modern life, and I feel like that's what folk music is about. It's about you know, relating experiences, but because we think of folk music as being from a particular time and from when, you know, lives were just different, I think it doesn't really do what it was supposed to do in the first place. And I think you just do that incredibly, and I think Richard does that as well. I think there's a sort of a, you know, a specific like genre that's emerging there that really, but isn't, you know, it's kind of always been there in a certain sort of way. It's just,
I'm sure
it just got lost
but
a
it's
little
just,
bit maybe.
Yeah. It's just got, I mean, yeah. And someone has got to preserve that, but it is sort of inaspic a bit, isn't it? You know.
Yeah.
Anyway, I don't even want to talk about. I don't know anything about folk music really, you know, so I don't.
I would say you're one of the greatest proponents of it, but I also don't know anything about folk music, so don't listen to me.
That's
anyway, you said you wanted. So go ahead.
I know I've told you, but I told Matthias as well. My last album, Other Pear Shaped, sent it to Folk Roots magazine, and there's a track on it called "All for the Love of a Music Journalist." You know, so the review of the album was just cheeky bugger. That was it. 2 words in Folk Review magazine. Cheeky bugger.
Cheeky bugger. Well, yeah. Matthias and I played that song on the stream, and it was complete opposite times, because he was here last year in February, and we had a record cold of -40 with the wind chill, and it's 37 with the with the humidity today, so we're just
God.
bouncing from one extreme to the other. But if you go on my for people watching, if you go on my YouTube, there is a little video of me and Matthias from the Burning Hell playing that song.
So good, it's brilliant.
Thank you. And a couple of old streams of with your good self guesting. So yeah, and anybody who's watching this on YouTube in the future, because I upload these the next day, if you go on, there's a link in the description for Twitch, and you can come and watch live in the future. But you said you wanted to play another one.
One more, yeah. I just thought about it this afternoon. This being your penultimate show, I thought I'd play a song from my very first album in 1997, which is
brilliant.
Shocking. Again, that's shock. The whole album's shocking, you know. But I'd been in a sort of indie rock band, a sort of monster magnet band, and then I'd bought a 12-string. I was just finding my feet, you know. So this song, you know, I really object to, you know, that sort of "we are the world," you know, first person plural, right? That "we" thing. I hate it. And the only two songs I've used it in.
I've got one of these, Green Leaves. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Because I'm desperate to avoid the sort of the universal, you know. It's always about specificity, you know. So yeah, so I've done it, haven't I? Anyway, this is the only other song that I do that on. But it seemed appropriate because it's called "All I Start Will End."
Okay.
And it's a sort of a Buddhist, you know, whatever arises will cease. I was thinking that about this stream, which has been beautiful, you know. So
thank you.
Anyway. It's just 3 verses. And again, apologies for the "we," you know. All I start will end. All I start will end. A piece of paper and a pen. All I start will end. All you start will end. All you start will end. You said we could be friends. All you start will end. All we start will end. These broken bones will mend. And then we'll break them all again. All we start will end. All we start will end.
Wonderful. Nev Clay, everyone.
Thank you, Tim. Happy house move.
Thank you. Yeah, I think everything's going to be fine. I packed 1 box so far of records, and so, you know, I'm getting there. Little bits at a time. No, that was wonderful, and I appreciate the the thought behind it as well. And yeah, I mean, it feels like not just the stream, but the the complete changing of lives and backgrounds. So it's gonna be an interesting little while. I want to say thank you to Scott and to Justin for the contributions. If anybody else wants to support the stream, it makes a big difference, goes a long way, and 50% of the donations every week go to the guest artist, the wonderful Nev Clay this week. So just click on that link that I put in the chat. Oh, I took the chat box off the screen. Wait, bring it back so you can see. But I'm so happy that whatever happens, if I keep the stream going or not, I'm just so happy that we managed to get you on at this point. I love your music. I love your approach to songwriting, and I find it very inspiring. And I'm hoping that I'll be seeing you over in the UK again before too long. I imagine I'll be getting back there quite a bit, so it seems pretty realistic. And if you need to do a German tour for the record, give me a shout, and we can set something up for Berlin. If your knees feeling better at that point.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Tim. Okay, man.
It's a pleasure to have you on. I'm going to keep going and play a few songs, but we're going to say goodbye to Nev for now. So, Have
you got time for the Badger Cam? Are we going to have some Badger Cam?
You know what? I'm in between. I played my last 2 Montreal shows this weekend just gone. And between that and just starting with the preparation for the move, I didn't get the Badger Cam sorted. But I'm going to promise right now that there's going to be a Badger Cam next week, maybe even 2. Just special like. And if you don't know what we're talking about, then you'll have to tune in next week to find out, I suppose. But Nev, thanks so much for coming on. It's really a pleasure and an honour. And we'll be seeing you soon, I'm sure.
See you soon. Take care. Bye. Thank you.
That's Nev Clay, everyone. Absolutely wonderful, from Long Benton, just outside of Newcastle, in the UK. And just really such an inspiring musician, such an inspiring songwriter, and I take so much from listening to his songs, from the way that he approaches songwriting is really something inspiring. And thank you for the kind words, Ariel. Pardon me. Just keep putting the camera in the wrong flipping place. So I'm going to play a few songs. I'm going to there were some requests last week, so I want to get to some of those. And one of them is from Nev friend and my friend Jake Nickel, who plays in the Burning Hell, along with Matthias, who we talked about before. And I think they're up in Glasgow at the moment, building a solar-powered recording studio that's free for everyone to use, of course. But this is one of my favourite songs ever, and it's called Stone Arch, and it's by the wonderful Jake Nickel. Where does it start? On the chat box? Can be done. It's a delicate balance. Where do we go? Oh, I'm going to start from the start. It's a delicate balance above a throbbing sea. You can't control the tide. What will it be? And will it succeed? It's time to build my own arch, connecting there to here. Add to it year by year. joining of two homes, standing in the sun, makes my memory run, standing in the sun. It's already begun. It's already begun. When setting down the last stone, connecting there to here, and to it year by year. The joining of two, the joining of two homes, standing in the sun, makes my memory run, standing in the sun. It's already begun, standing in the sun, makes my memory run, standing in the sun. It's already begun. It's already begun. That's Jake Nichols' Stone Arch from the record of the same name. So apparently Jake has a new single out, according to Sab, who that song was for. Sab, do you want to put the link to that in the chat so people can go and find it? I'm guessing it's up on Bandcamp. I'm going to keep going with the requests here. I'm going to play Tendrils, which is for Stolen from Poets. Again, if you want to support the stream, link is here in the chat and is in the video description if you're watching after the fact over on YouTube. On the subject of like proper folk music, as in talking about experiences these days, I think a good subject for a Montreal folk song. I was hearing on the news the other day that apparently a couple of skunks broke into an outdoor supply store, like camping gear store, and were mating, and then like sprayed the place and caused $200,000 worth of damage. And that seems like a pretty good subject for a Canadian folk song. Montreal specific, perhaps, and I'm very sorry to the owners. I hope they're doing okay. But yes, it's pretty amusing not being connected to it. This is Tendrils for Anna. Lots of ketchup. Oh, I'm so used to singing this in French that I forgot the English lyrics. Older ages blocking all the holes, hide inside walls, decided to go. Come silence, don't pick apart its source, make it up, but just put it aside. Don't find us waking upside down. Find your sense and hold it. You'd watch it unfold. Phrase tendrils creeping for a hold. The steely grey glow of your eyes. But by night I'm silenced and still. Can you make yourself feel unkind? When you cry out war, when you see that we all have come freely alone, and no brightness and misinterpret words deflect us from the sight of you, drenched and afraid. Fight in the sourness that pulls around the brain. It's an offering, an offering, an offering again. Sealed inside each verse, up above my words, you've a sense, I'm sure, that's as true as any. For the times I had tried but didn't make the connections, and I'm left to feel. If I was you, I'd lie. 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 Cette sentence qui à ce point te brise, sans perspective, et alors. Cette sentence totalement te brise, c'est dur de se rester fidèle. That's Tendrils with a little mashup, a little bit of Henri at the end. Les moufettes méchantes. Some kind of troublemaking moufette being skunks, which I think is like such a cute name for an animal. But what is méchant? That word keeps coming up. In like, I went to a méchant something that was a cafe the other day. Is it like cheeky or something? What is méchant? Please let me know. I'm going to play a not scheduled song here because this weekend Lauren Paquette came up with her sister from Rhode Island, and we were internet chat room friends in 1996 and had never met in person, and she drove up all the way from Rhode Island to Montreal for the show, and so I played her this song, and because she's a massive Depeche Mode fan, and I sort of like joked about playing this song the other day, and then I learned it, and it's really good. So here, Lauren's still there. Good to see. And I'm going to do one more, and then we'll be gone for this week. But yeah, if you're new to the stream, I do this every week at the same time. 3 p.m. in Montreal, 8 p.m. in the UK, 9 p.m. in Central Europe. Oh, I got a note under the door, though. Bear with me a second. Nev says he's known me ever since I was in short trousers. I'm still in short trousers. What does this say? Dear Tim, would you please play the swimming song for me? You may cancel my other request if there is not enough time. Thank you. That's from Punzy Punzenberger. I'm going to play this Depeche Mode song, and then maybe I'll play the swimming song to finish up. This is Enjoy the Silence. Words like violence break the silence, come crashing in into my little world, painful to me, pierce right through me. Can't you understand? Oh, my little girl. All I ever wanted, all I ever needed is here in my arms. Words are very unnecessary, they can only do harm. Vows are spoken to be broken, feelings are intense, words are trivial, pleasures remain, so does the pain. Words are meaningless and forgettable. All I ever wanted, all I ever needed is here in my arms. Words are very unnecessary, they can only do harm. All I ever wanted, all I ever needed is here in my arms. Words are very unnecessary, they can only do harm. Let's enjoy the silence for Lauren down in Rhode Island. Yeah, it was such a lovely weekend this weekend in Montreal. I'm going to be in Ottawa tomorrow on the off chance there's anybody from Ottawa watching at the National Arts Centre, and that's going to be my last Canadian show. So get your bones down there, and feel free to travel. The shows this weekend, people came from Switzerland, from Nova Scotia, from Toronto, from Rhode Island, from Michigan, which was very touching, very, very touching and very special. And I'm going to miss this place. Also, Nev is probably watching the end of this stream, but I know for a fact that he can't comment because his operating system is out of date and it won't allow him to chat in Twitch. So do say hello to Nev. Send him your best. He's wonderful. He's the best. He really is. I'm so happy that he comes on these things and watches and plays these beautiful songs and continues to write. And yeah, very, very grateful for him. So thank you, Nev, if you are still watching. There we go. Hooray. Hooray. Let's see how this goes. This is the swimming song by Loudon Wainwright the third. Not the second, not the first, but the third. Summer I went swimming, this summer I might have drowned, but I held my breath and I kicked my feet and I moved my arms around, This summer I swam in the ocean and I swam in a swimming pool, salt my wounds, chlorine my eyes, I'm a self-destructive fool. self-destructive fool. The summer I did the backstroke, and you know that's not all. Did the breaststroke and the butterfly and the old Australian crow. The old Australian crow. The summer I swam in a public place in the reservoir to boot. At the latter I was informal, at the former I wore my suit. I wore my swimming suit, yeah. The summer I did swan dives, and you know that's not all. And once when you weren't looking, I did a cannonball. I did a cannonball. The summer I went swimming, the summer I might have drowned. But I held my breath and I kicked my feet and I moved my arms around. I moved my arms around. The swimming song. I missed a request, so I'm going to play this and then finish up. This is Pink Moon by Nick Drake. And good callback to the stream with Jake Nickel, where he got to I got to sing some harmonies for him. He was outside, the roosters were singing as well. But I got to sing some harmonies for that beautiful song, Stone Arch. That was a treat. So again, if you want to support the stream, click on this link. When it asks you for a username, just don't put any spaces in. Everything else should work fine. There's no minimum donation, and 50% of the donations each week go to the guest artist, which this time was Nev Clay. But this is Pink Moon by Nick Drake. Gotta remember how to play it. That's it. So written and so it said, Pink moon is on its way. None of you stand so tall. Pink moon gonna get you. Oh, it's pink moon. Yeah, pink moon. Pink, 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 pink. Pink moon. So written and so I say, pink moon is on its way. None of you stand so tall. Pink moon gonna get you. Oh, it's pink moon. Yeah, pink moon. Pink, 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 pink. Pink moon. Pink Moon by Nick Drake. It's been lovely to be here with you all this week. Next week, Wednesday, will definitely be the last one until the autumn, and maybe the last one ever. Which feels like, I don't know, it's something I've been figuring out as we go along. But yeah, moving to Germany the week after that, and gonna have to figure some things out. So make sure you tune in next week. Do not miss next week. I'll make sure there's some Badger Cam for you and anything else that you want. But yeah, 3 p.m. here in Montreal, 4 p.m. out on the East Coast. I know there's quite a few Haligonians watching this one. 8 p.m. in the UK, 9 p.m. in Central Europe, noon on the West Coast for Stephen. Yeah, it's always a treat. Thanks again to Nev. Hiya, Nev. And yeah, we'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Which one? This one. Bye-bye. No, button's not working. I gotta press this button instead. Okay. Actually, bye-bye.